Hi, it's Kathy Simpson. I'm a little bit late tonight, maybe 4 minutes, because I couldn't get the lighting right in my room that I usually work on to do my things. And it was so dark I couldn't even see myself. And you do need to see yourself in order to, go live on Facebook. But this evening I'm going to chat with you a little bit about being positive and some things to help you stay positive during your school year this year, and also to become emotionally healthy, because I think that's really important. One of the things that has helped me tremendously in staying positive, especially in the world that we live in today, there's so many things that are going on, a lot of things that I know our children are experiencing that myself as a child, I did not experience at all. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is this little blessing bracelet I have. Now, what I'm going to talk to you about, you don't really need a blessing bracelet or a bracelet to stay positive, but this bracelet has helped me tremendously. The story goes that if you see this bracelet, or every time you wear this bracelet, you are to think of four things in your life, or in the day is really what I'm talking about, four things that happened, for example, today in your life that you can feel positive about. So, for example, you would think today, for example, all right, so I had a great cup of coffee. I went and helped my daughter in her classroom, and I'm glad that I'm able to do that. If I wasn't retired, I wouldn't be able to do that. So you just think of four things that make you feel good about yourself or good about your life. I suggest, too, obviously not everybody has a bracelet, that you might want to write it down in a little journal, something like this, where every night before you go to bed, or every day after you're done your first day, like after you're done your school day, go and write down something positive, at least four things positive about the day. Now, in my journal right now, today, I have written, like I just said a minute ago, that I was able to help my daughter in her classroom today. If I wasn't retired, I wouldn't be able to do that. So I helped her set up her classroom. Hey, Nettie, I see you. I'm so glad to see you here. Hello. I'm going to call you about those cookies, by the way, for the shower. And my second thought was, I have four beautiful grandchildren and the fifth on the way. So that's something to be positive about. Then I wrote, I actually made more sales today on TPT than I had anticipated. So that's another positive thing that occurred today. And my last thing I wrote in my book was, it was an awful rainy day, which can sometimes be very negative. But what I wrote in my journal was, the sun came out tonight after a long rainy day, but because of the rain, I was able to get a ton of stuff done today. Now, I think I've always been a very positive person, and I also think it's very important to try to stay as positive as you can. I'm trying to think. About probably 20 years ago, my dad had a stroke, and he was paralyzed on his right side. And he was always a very active man. Seriously, he would run by my house, and if he had something for me, he would throw it on the front lawn. And then I'd run out and get it. You can never get him to stand still. So when he had his stroke, I could have looked at it very negatively, and I could have said, he's had this stroke, he's paralyzed, oh my. But instead, what I do was I thought to myself, he's always on the go. This is my opportunity to get to know him better, to sit with him, and he couldn't really do much. So it gave me that opportunity to sit with him and chat with him. So you turn a negative into a positive. He had said to me one day that, he goes, you are helping me walk now, and I remember when you first took your first steps. So it gave us an opportunity to get to know each other better. So we took a negative situation and turned it into a positive situation. I also remember when I was having my very first interview for becoming a teacher, one of the questions that was thrown at me, and I literally mean it was thrown at me because I was not prepared for this question. The principal said to me, besides the alarm clock, what gets you up in the morning? And I was like, oh, great. Now I have to think about what gets me up in the morning. The alarm clock gets me up in the morning. What else gets me up in the morning? So I thought to myself, okay, you know what? I know what gets me up in the morning. It's a new day. It's a new beginning. It's something that you don't have this chance again. Yesterday's gone. The mistakes you made yesterday are totally gone. I see Beth and Mary. Hi, guys. And so it's a brand new day with a new beginning. If you made a mistake yesterday, then today is your day. If that situation arises again, to make the best of it and do the best you can with that situation. So I think being positive is really important. It's very, very easy to be negative. It's very easy to think negative thoughts about different situations. But if you do what I was talking about, either write every day four things that you felt were positive that occurred in your day, maybe when you come home from school, maybe when you get up in the morning, just think of four things. It can be four simple things. It can be a little person, that little girl wrote me a beautiful card. I teach kindergarten, and that little child said, oh my gosh, Mrs. Simpson, you're the best teacher I've ever had. And you think in yourself, in your head, you're thinking, well, it's probably the only teacher she had or the second teacher, but still, that's a positive. Maybe somebody called you on the phone that you hadn't talked to for a really long time. That's another positive. I have my blessing bracelet, and I wear it every single day. And every morning when I wake up, and sometimes at night before I go to bed, I will think about one blessing or one positive thing I have in my life. There are certain things that you cannot control, so don't try to control them. But there are things you can control, and you can control the way you think about things. And what I've been told, that if you think every day about four positive things in your life, every single day, that it begins to condition your mind. So now you begin to think more positively about life, about everything you encounter. It actually conditions your brain to think the opposite. If we think negative, then our brains are conditioned to think negative. So before I get on to the next topic, I want to tell you that I'm going to challenge you to take a journal, like the one I have somewhere here. This one, it's just a little booklet. It actually says, Find Your Balance. It was given to me by my daughter-in-law. And write down in your journal four things every day. And you don't have to write them, at least think them. And you'll begin to see things more positively in your life. Now, the second thing I want to talk to you, yeah, I agree, Nettie. It is something you need to do more often. But you seem pretty positive to me anyway. And Beth, I see you're here, and thank you. You are the sweetest. Beth and I worked together for a lot of years. They were the best years of my teaching, was when I was teaching with Beth. And we had a great time. She was special ed teacher. I was considered regular ed, and we just had a great time teaching together. So you are a positive in my life as well. There you go. Julie Robbins wrote down, one of the lunch monitors told me yesterday that I was doing a great job. And you know what? Doesn't it feel good when just somebody gives you a little positive? So that's something you can think about when you go home. When you went home last night, you can think, okay, I'm doing a great job. Somebody told me I'm doing a great job. Now, the next thing I want to chat with you is about a book that I read, and I'm not endorsing the book. I don't have anything to do with the author or anything like that. But the book that I want to share with you, and you may have heard of it, is called, I can never get this right, how to put this in front of the screen. It's called The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, and he is from the Toltec tribe. And it's a personal guide for personal freedom. I read this book a long, long, long time ago. And it really, if you can live your life by his four agreements, I think even Oprah Winfrey had this on one of her, one of her shows. If you can live your life the way that he is telling us under his philosophy, then I think you're going to live a much happier life. The first agreement is do not, and here's actually a little sign that I got off the internet of his, which way does it go? This way. The four agreements. So the first one is to not take anything personal. Many times someone says something to us, or did you ever have that phone call from a parent? You pick up the phone and you're like, what the heck just happened? I don't even know what I did. I mean, really, what's going on? I mean, I answered, I said hello, and then all of a sudden just, parents yelling at me. The thing is, it really isn't about you. That person or that mom or parent had their own reality of the situation. It may have hit something within their heart that happened to them a long time ago that was going on with their child, so therefore they didn't know how to handle it. Or you don't know what happened right before she called you on the phone or you answered the phone. So you can't take it personally. It doesn't really have anything to do with you. It actually is that person's reality. So you have to kind of just don't take it personal. Don't let what they say to you make you feel bad about yourself. Because lots of times what happens is a person will call you on the phone or a parent will call you on the phone and they give you this earful and you listen and you try your best to be very positive and you try to listen, as best you can. And maybe 2 hours later or 2 days later, they come in and they might say something like, you know what, I'm really sorry the way I acted on the phone. It was just that my daughter had just come in from cheerleading practice. She had fallen and hurt her leg and I was just really upset. Or when I was a child, I was bullied. And when I heard this little boy on the playground was, talking nasty to my son, it just really hit, a funny bone or whatever in my arm, or my heart just hurt and I really didn't know how to handle it. So that's the first thing. Don't take anything personal. The next agreement is to be impeccable with your word. And what that means is to say what you mean and mean what you say. So let's think of a situation, you're with your own child. Let's do that. You have a splitting headache, the worst headache, a migraine. And your little person comes in and starts singing a song to you. And you say, your voice is screeching in my head. Your voice is screeching. Stop. That's not what you really meant. What you really meant was, I have a headache. And do you think you might be able to sing somewhere else? Because if you say that so negatively, what's going to happen is that child will think that she's an awful singer when she really isn't, and then for her whole life, she's going to think, oh my God, I'm awful. So that's the second agreement. The second agreement is to be impeccable with your words. Say what you mean what you say. Don't use your words against yourself. Don't use your words to be negative to yourself. Don't use your words to, quote, gossip about people. Use your words to be truthful and honest and mean what you say and say what you mean. The third agreement is to not make assumptions. And when I think of this agreement, I think often of Robin Williams, because here was this man, comedian, everyone loved him. You made the assumption that he was so happy all the time, loving life. And then, of course, you find out eventually after his death that he was very, very depressed. So it's important for you not to make assumptions about anything or anyone. Ask questions. Ask questions about everything and anything so you get to know exactly what it is that you need to know. If you have a child in your classroom and you notice a difference in them, or, then go and call them, make a phone call. You might not find out there's anything because you're only going to know what the parents tell you. But at least you asked questions and you're going to feel better. You're not making an assumption about that child or assumption about anything. Ask questions. That's the most important thing to do. And then the last agreement is to do your best, and your best changes. So, for example, if you have a headache or you're not feeling good and you're at school and you're trying to teach, obviously that best is not going to be as great as the day you're on top of the world, you have coffee, everything's going so great, and you walk in and you're singing songs and you're happy. Today you have a headache, but do your best. Do your best with that headache. If you can finish your day and say, I did my best, okay, I had a headache, but I did my best, then you've had a great day. One of the things I do say is you don't have to be the best, just do your best. So if you do your best and you know you did your best, then you're going to feel great about yourself and all other things will fall into place. So those agreements again are, don't take anything personal, be impeccable with your word, meaning say what you mean and mean what you say. Don't make assumptions, ask questions, and do your best. You don't have to be the best, just do your best. And then tonight, before you go to bed, think of 4 positive things, or when you come in from school tomorrow, when you get up in the morning, 4 positive things that occurred in your day. And I bet you will feel better about yourself. You will start to have a more positive mindset. And you're going to need this with school starting, because many of you are starting back to school or already have started back to school. I know Julie has started back to school. So those are my tips for this evening. I've been doing these Tuesday tips to be your best self and to be the best teacher you can be. And, let's just remember to not get involved with the drama. Try to get over that. If someone's mean to somebody else, you have to think about, you can't take it personal, they can't take it personal. So I leave you with those thoughts, and I want to hear, maybe you can leave comments in the thread about things that you did or things that you found positive in your day. And I really want you to try to write 4 things down that are positive every day for about a month. Even a week is fine. And see if it doesn't change the way you think. So I'm going to leave you with this quote. It says, good things take time. Be patient. Your time will come. Stay positive. So stay positive, and I will see you next time. Bye.